Hi, Colonel Garver. Thanks for doing this. Back on Manbij, you were saying, and I think Secretary Carter had said on Wednesday that you were still seeing if it warrants the civilian potential killing warrants an investigation. Where are you? Are you still in the review to see if it warrants an investigation, or is the U.S. military actually in the investigative stage right now?
So we're in the first phase, which is we determine what we call a credibility assessment, is does the information we have warrant a formal investigation? The unit is conducting that credibility assessment right now. At the end of that, the commander will either say, as the unit completes that, the unit will say either we don't think it warrants a formal investigation, or we do, and then they'll launch a formal investigation. So they've got some time to complete that. It's less than a week and a half now to complete that internal that review, and then they'll recommend to a higher commander that says, yeah, we think we need to do a formal investigation or not. And I don't want to get in front of that in front of that review process, in front of the credibility assessment, to figure out one way or another, or predict one way or another where it's going to go.
And just so I'm clear on the timeline, is it less than a week and a half from the reporting of the incident, or less than a week and a half from today that you're referring to?
It's less than a week and a half from today. The standard within CENTCOM and within Central Command is you have 14 days to complete the assessment from being told to do it. The unit was told to do it a few days ago, and they're in the middle of doing that right now.
Yes, sir. Can you, just following up on Carla's question, after these 14 days, if they do recommend a formal investigation, can you talk at all as to how long that kind of investigation would take, and can you talk at all about what goes into that investigation, how that's done from your side?
Well, to tell you that, the time it takes is the time it takes. There are timelines in what we call an Army, an AR 15-6, which is a command investigation. You can look it up in the Army regulations about what that is. There are timelines that are built in. I'm certainly not a lawyer, so I would say I think they have a short amount of time to get back to their commander who assigned them that report. In this case, General McFarland's interested. General Votel clearly is interested in this as well. But I don't want to talk the specifics because I don't have it off the top of my head. Like I said, I think it's a couple weeks to complete the investigation. You can apply for additional time if you need it as the investigating officer. You take the credibility assessment information, and then that becomes part of the evidence, and then you'll go forward to the investigating officer would go forward to figure out what can we determine. In this instance, the determination will be, do we think we killed civilians accidentally in this strike? And that is the end result of this. And then any recommendations towards what was it a procedural error? Did somebody not do something right? Was it fog and friction of war? Was this something that Daesh had done as a tactic that we were not paying attention to, and therefore we need to inform our units in the future to watch out for this tactic? The investigating officer's recommendations go to the commander. The commander can make changes to our procedures along the way. And at the end of all of that, we would at some point publish a release from either CJTF or Central Command that said we acknowledge that we killed civilians, if that was the end of the result.